is Wednesday. I hope each and every one of you are having a phenomenal time. Today, we are getting started in just a couple of minutes. I am still on the road on my way to Toronto. So if you see anybody who is in the go-to meeting console, I will not be logging in for another 16 minutes. So please invite everyone to come over to the Facebook group for today's live Q&A call, at least for now. Again, I am still about 15 minutes out of my destination to the hotel. So Lyric is nice enough to hold the phone for me so I don't get into any accidents. Hey, Nicole. Hey, T. How are you? And we will pick up with the Q&A call once I get into the hotel. But I said we're just going to go ahead and get things started today. Hey, Hollis. How are you? Let's just hold it right there. See, I'm giving Lyric a hard time. So it is Wednesday. It is officially your Q&A day. We are streaming live from the beautiful city of Toronto. We are in Canada. It is so freaking beautiful here. It's raining, but it's beautiful. Lyric, can you give, hey, Henry. Lyric, can you give him a little view? Hey, Tiffany.
Oh.
Give them, let them get a view of Toronto.
I don't know how to turn the camera over.
I'm just turning around so they can see around.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful Toronto. Look at that. Oh, wow. The scenery is so amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Lyric, that's our camera lady for today. I'm phenomenal, Henry. I am feeling so great and fired up because it is Q&A day. Y'all know I get one day a month with you all. And I was not about to miss this thing for anything. So I'm here to answer any questions you guys have throughout the course of the month that you've experienced, any challenges that you guys are experiencing. My job here today is to support you in any and every way possible and to get all your questions answered. Hey, Chris. So while people are chiming in and getting their questions ready and all of that great stuff, thank you so much, Tiffany. I wanted to, I always kind of start off with my little, not my rant, but kind of like my lecture or my thoughts around things that are going on in the industry, or things I just want you guys to consider and think about as you guys are going through your business day. And one of the things that I really want to talk to you about this afternoon is strategy. And this topic has been on my mind pretty aggressively through this ride here from Detroit. I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about. I was also thinking about our group coaching call that we had this afternoon. And this week we have been going over strategy in the most intense way. I mean, I've been getting comments like, Dee, these homework assignments are intense, but they're great. We've really been talking about strategy and unleashing your ideas. And I just want to ask you guys, as you are going through this business on a consistent basis, I know that you have your daily tasks that you're responsible for throughout the day, but I wonder, do you guys have a written strategy out? Do you have a strategy that is literally written out specifically around your executive assistants, or around your CFOs, or around your director of nursing, or around your, whoever your immediate hiring manager is? Do you have specific strategies? How are you engaging your audience? Now, listen to me. I want y'all to just work with me here a little bit, okay? So we are in this space and time right now where everything is becoming more automated, more and more by the day. You know what I'm saying? And you see a lot of companies taking advantage of your LinkedIn Live, your Facebook Live, your YouTube, your Insta Stories, right? You see a lot of people literally putting on these webinars and these conferences and teleseminars and workshops and different things like that. And my question to you today is, what type of strategies are you creating around your business, around giving value to your customers so that they have a clear understanding of the level of value that you bring to your niche market? right? Because that's why you started a niche staffing business to begin with, so that you could focus solely on a specific niche market and service a specific problem. So my question to you is, what type of value are you giving to your clients, and what type of value are you giving to your candidates in a strategic way, right? In a strategic way that lets them know that you're on their team, you understand the challenges that they're experiencing, and that you're 100% there to help. That's a $1 billion question, and I want you to write your comments in the box. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but if you have some thoughts, if you're doing some things, or you have something planned, I want to know. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about your strategies. When we were in the group coaching class, somebody mentioned that they were doing a golf tournament, right? And I started to think about all the golf tournaments that I have attended in staffing, and how that's where the real deals are made. They're made on the golf course. How many of you have thought about creating a strategy of a golf tournament, or maybe even a golf tournament that's geared towards charity, right? People love to support charity, and they love golf. But this gives you an opportunity to connect with other companies, to have some sponsors, or maybe ask some of the companies that you want to be your clients to become sponsors in your golf tournament. And what will that do? That will start the conversation. That will create the relationship, right? And that leads to what? More contracts, more sales, and all those great things. So same thing with your candidates. Job boards, job fairs are great. When you know how to rock a real job fair. How can you take a traditional type of job fair and make it specific to you, or give it your own remix or your own flair? Why does a job fair have to be look, sound, feel the same way that it did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Taking the job fair from in-person to online has definitely been something that we've seen, but how else can you spend that job fair? Can you give the job fair a theme? Can you, can you marinate it with specific holidays? Can you, I don't know, but I just want to know what type of strategies are you creating in your business to engage your clients, to engage your candidates, to create a community around your niche space so that people want to deal with you and only you. Think about all the groups you're in, right? Think about all the communities that you're a part of online. And many of them, if they're active, there's a movement going on. There's a real community. This is a real community, and people like to be a part of communities. So I want you guys to start thinking strategically about how you are literally taking your business and giving value to your clients and to your candidates. How do you guys feel about that? You all are so quiet tonight. Oh my gosh, you're so quiet. How do you feel about that? Who's all for being strategic in their business? Awesome. We're like 8 minutes away. All right, awesome. Well, I that was kind of what I wanted to share. I will open the floor up for anyone who has any questions, or anyone who has any want to share any successes or any challenges that they have experienced in their business. Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. I was like, y'all are quiet. Okay, that's great. How are you doing in your business, to give? How are you doing in your to give so much love? That's so cute. I just caught on what that was. How are you doing in your business, my love? Chris says, New Year party job fair. I like that theme. New Year. Now, Chris, you are getting me fired up over here. I love that. I 100% love that. And even a Halloween theme one as well, because companies are doing that all the time. All the time. It shows that you have the ability to be a part of the company culture. right? Then you have the ability to be a part of the culture. And as the staffing agency that's bringing the job fair, you're bringing you're not just showing the employer the technical aspect of what the candidate brings that you're bringing to the table, but also how they can ultimately be a cultural fit, right? So that kind of gives it a kind of a new dynamic. Lyric, read Tiffany's message for me. Read her message for me. I want to hear exactly what she has to say.
Which one?
Tiffany. Yeah.
Okay, definitely that's a great idea about being international with strategies, wealth of information
Intentional.
shared. Oh, sorry.
Being intentional with strategies, wealth of information shared. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tiffany. That's okay. Lyric's my reader. She's reading from the side angle, so she's like, what? So I'm still logging into the go-to meeting once we get into the hotel. I'm about 6 minutes away. We ran into some traffic, but all is well. But yes. I want to know about your strategies. I also want to know how you guys are doing in your business. This is your Q&A call, so I want to be available to you to answer any questions that you may have. And I know that there's some people in the go-to meeting. I hope that they're on the Facebook group too and watching, because I could not log into my go-to meeting because I have a new phone, 2 new phones, and so all of my stuff isn't together just yet. But this is your call, and it is about you. So I'm here to learn more about what you guys have going on in your business. I did see that Constance posted her successes. Hey, Constance, watching the replay. Congratulations, Constance. Wow! Where are my maracas these days? They're nowhere to be found. But thank you so much. Oh gosh, I'm in the wrong lane. Thank you so much, Constance, for providing that feedback to us. We appreciate that. You see how petty that guy was? He was like, you're a nut getting in front of me. That's so funny. Awesomeness. Now, what did Chris said something, Lyric, read that. What did Chris say? Right there. I'm thinking about Lyric. I'm thinking about joining. What did Chris say? I'm thinking about joining the course. Oh, okay. Yes, Chris, you're gonna love the course. It's phenomenal. I'm really digging in with this particular course, with this group coaching, and I really just took my program that I do with my one-on-one clients that I spend a long time with, and I just took that and duplicated that into this space. And we're getting great feedback, and people are really starting to understand their market and are really getting into the business. And I'm really fired up about all the strategies that have been shared. It's been crazy. And, people are still turning in their homework assignments. So I think we're just starting to see just a little bit of the ingenuity that's brewing in that group coaching program. And so I'm really, really excited to see that to see everybody's strategies come to light. And Chris, let me just tell you that this week in the group coaching program, not only are we creating our strategies, but we're building out our avatars, meaning the hiring managers that we're going after, and kind of putting them together with and creating their journey, right? Of where they are now, where they want to be, and how we get them there. So we're actually starting the automation process so that each staffingpreneur in the group coaching program is not solely relying upon just cold calling and emailing and reaching out to customers, but so that they also have an opportunity for customers and candidates to reach out to them, and in kind of a newer way, which is how things are moving on the internet now. So it's really, really exciting. We're in the first phases of that, and you can tell I'm fired up, because it's watching everybody's ideas flow and seeing them really start to have those aha moments, oh man, I've been doing this wrong the whole time, or oh man, I can't believe I missed this. It is just really, 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 really phenomenal. So I'm excited about that. We're also creating our lead magnets this week, and we're starting our outline for the website content based on all the data that we've gathered for our niche market. So it's really cool. So next week we go in and legalize the business, and the week after we do branding, and then we do business training the week after that. And business training is about mining your metrics. It's about It's about like kind of just everything you're doing on the back end, almost like running your back office and running the business as a whole, which is something that we didn't have in the academy as a traditional module. So I'm really excited about being able to teach this particular portion of the class and getting everybody set up from that perspective. Then we do an audit of everybody's business that's in the class to make sure everything is set up right, their strategies are set up and ready to be launched. And then we go live and we start the process of actually generating revenue in the business, which then I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be bananas. I think a lot of staffingpreneurs who are already in this community are waiting for that to happen so that they can jump in on the group coaching program, which I'm really excited about as well, because it's going to be fire, like for real, for real. And so I'm excited about that. So I'm really amped up about the program and the people. We have about 50 people in the program roughly. And we'll probably get another 50 people in the next couple of weeks. And we're gonna launch some amazing niche recruitment and staffing businesses. So when you're ready, Chris, I'm just getting you fired up right now, Chris. When you are ready, we are here waiting on you. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. What did Tiffany say in her message right there? Because I didn't catch everything. Can you read it for me?
Wait, which one?
The very last message. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I have my first contract from.
Oh, that's great. Great. She's got her first contract from where?
From. Wait, I don't wanna move the camera.
Let's just see. Had my first contract from a facility who needs staff in my area. Administrators, one of the Facebook groups. Playing phone tag. Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome, because that means that you are really starting to get some traction. And this will be a direct client for you, Tiffany. That if this is a direct client for you, I'm like fired up on your behalf. Is this a direct client for you? If it is, oh my gosh, that's so phenomenal. How amazing is that? Oh, wow. This will be your first contract. So, Tiffany, you know I'm sending so much. Oh my gosh, I just stepped on my glasses. I hope I didn't break them. I'm sending so much positive energy your way. And this is your time. You've been waiting on this for a long time. And you know, you're a beast on that VMS. But you having the ability to get your first contract with a direct client is so phenomenal. You see my cheeks are burning. I'm so excited for you. Are you excited? And you said you're truly excited. I can see that. That's phenomenal. I love to hear that. Man, that's going to be freaking. So let me ask you, are you ready? It's 32 beds. What type of roles are you going to be filling? And are you ready? I know that's a crazy question to ask. Are you ready? But are you ready? Yes, 3 years. And I know, and you have mastered that thing, girl. You have mastered that VMS in a way that I have never seen anybody master it. And I'm so proud of you, because that you have found your niche, but now you are at the point where you're ready to expand, and it's nothing more beautiful than that. Growth, elevation, expansion, that's exactly where we want to be going. You know, and so I'm so proud to see you get to that space. And this contract is one of many that you will receive. I believe in the next year or so, Tiffany, you're going to see such an uptick in your business, because I know for me, when I got my first contract, it was almost like a rolling effect. It was really like a rolling effect. The first one I got, then it was oh wow, another one came. Oh wow, another one came. Oh gosh, another one. And it was just so overwhelming, because at one point I didn't have any contracts, and then I went from not having any contracts to an overflow of contracts. You know what I'm saying? And so it just really happens that way. She says, yes. Okay, so CNAs, LPNs, yes, I have been pipelining candidates. I have 4 travel staff ready. Yes. High five. That's what I'm talking about, Tiffany. I know you're going to rock this contract out. I am so excited for you. I am super duper duper excited for you. This is amazing. This requires maracas, and there are no maracas. Look at this. We're in the car. This requires, say hi.
Hello.
We're in the car. So no maracas this time, but that really requires, I'm so excited for you, and I wish you so much success in whatever we can do in this community to support you. I know everybody else feels the same way. We are definitely here to support you. Like Tiffany, she was a Facebook group administrator, but are you doing any sales and business development outside, like on a consistent basis or are you solely focusing on supporting the VMS? So like, are you doing sales and business development with direct clients as a whole, like as a system, like with a strategy? Or was this kind of one of those situations where you had made a connection, it went great, and then it led into something else and kind of like a one and done thing? I'm interested in knowing. I believe that one of the other clients I targeted is back in needs of CNAs and RNs in Cleveland, reaching back out to the administrator. I thank you for everything. Awesomeness. I already know it's going to be an upkeep, but a pickup, an uppick. I don't know what the right word for that is. Y'all got to help me with that. But it's going to just overflow. I think I just want to say that. You're going to get an overflow, an influx of clients coming back to back, which was one of the reasons why I asked the question about the sales, about your strategy around the sales and business development, because I think this is, if you haven't done it before, this is a great time to put a little bit more energy in it, while that energy is flowing already around you in the form of sales and business development. You know what I'm saying? So this would be a time to like, ooh, if you're only putting 2 hours in a day, then you put in maybe 3 hours in a day or 4 hours in a day and really get get some more traction around that so you can feed off that energy. Okay, no, I haven't been doing as a while. It was a Facebook post. She saw it and called me. I need to do sales. Yes, you're missing out. What's holding you back from doing sales and business development? Is it time? Like, what's holding you back? Because, the thing is that you have an amazing business. You have amazing staff, right? That's supporting you with growing and expanding this business. You have a knack for finding great talent. So you have clearly a good product, quote unquote, right? So like, what's holding you back from sharing your solutions with employers? Letting them know that you can support their needs. Like, what's holding you back from that? I'm very curious to know. Okay, so that's a question. And this is not just for Tiffany, but if you're watching and you're not actively doing sales and business development, then like, what's holding you back? Okay, now we getting somewhere, LT. Now we getting somewhere. I love your authenticity and your willingness to share. So like Tiffany said, it's structuring my time management. So we definitely got to get, maybe we'll do a little small course on time management. Let me ask you a question though, while we're here, because I want this call to be super valuable for anybody watching, right? And not just like Tiffany. Like Tiffany, do you use a calendar management system to manage your time? That's my second question. My first question is, do you have structured hours that you work in your business? So those are two questions that I want to know. Do you have structured hours that you work in your business? I know you do the business full time. So do you say every day, no matter what, I'm going to be in the business starting at 8 a.m. and my end time is 6, although I can go over. So that's my first question. And then my second question is, are you using a calendar system? Any type of calendar system? Because that will help you if you do use a calendar system and you listen to it. That will definitely help you structure your time a lot. While you're answering that, I'll share with you and anybody that's watching, when I transitioned from corporate to owning my own business, it was a major transition for me because I felt like I no longer had a boss, and I was letting everything just kind of become a priority, and I definitely wasn't structuring my time right. So it just seemed like now that I was home, I could do things I couldn't do when I was in corporate America. I can wash clothes, I can go to the laundromat, I can, I was thinking about that. I can go get something to eat whenever I want. I can do, and that freedom is great, and that's what we all desire and what we all are working towards, except it's like a real business going on, right? And so even though we don't have a boss per se, we still have to really function, at least in the beginning, until you have a staff that can take over all those things, and then you have the freedom to do that. If you're a 1 or 2 man or woman firm and you're doing it all on your own, then you really have to work in your business in the beginning and scale it to get it to the point where you're no longer working. So you don't really get a vacation immediately, right? You really actually still have to work in the business. And so for the first 6 months, year, maybe even, I was horrible. I mean, it was like in the beginning, I was super structured, right? Because I was on a mission. But once I started making a little bit of money and I started getting all those job orders in, it was chaos. And I just really had to really become disciplined about managing my time. So some of the things that I did was I created structured time. So I worked 8 to 6, right? Which I always started at 5 a.m. But I would end at midnight, but my structured hours were 8 to 6. So if I wanted to go to breakfast in the morning and work, at, a little breakfast spot, I absolutely love breakfast spots, y'all. If y'all ever want to get me a gift, give me a gift card for a breakfast spot. I mean, all over the country when I travel, I look for the little quaint ones. So anyway, but if I know my start time is 8 and I want to go to a breakfast shop in the morning and work from there, then I can get up at 5 or 6 and I can go to the breakfast shop, but I'm not required to be in the office until 8. And then I literally block like blocks of time out. And this is the thing that most people don't do, but it's so important when you're trying to manage your time. You really have to block time, lots of time out on your calendar. So, and they teach this when you go into a staffing agency, and I actually had to go back to the basics, but you have a certain amount of time that you choose every day to do like your sales and business development. Then you pick, it's typically an hour or two. For some companies, it's 4 hours, depending on the role. I say if you're in your business by yourself, I would do 4 hours sales and business development, 4 hours recruiting, and then before hours and after hours, I would do sourcing, right? Or before hours, I like sourcing in the morning, sales and business development, recruiting, and then recruiting in the evening or sourcing in the evening or whatever the case may be. So blocks of time. So like you may do 2 hours where it's where you're doing sales and business development. You might do 2 hours sourcing, then you go to lunch. Lunches, I have found that I do so great when I schedule lunch meetings with people. You know what I'm saying? So where she said, I have to block out my time because people call during business hours. Yes, I understand. And I know that, but you have to manage those calls. I know that's going to be hard, but you've got to manage those calls. Like just because somebody calls doesn't mean you have to answer the phone immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what your voicemail is for. That's what your email is for. That's what your receptionist is for. You have to manage your time. So, you've got to manage your time. I don't even know how else to say it. People call me all the time and I don't answer. People text me all day. I don't answer until it's in my block of time. When it's in my block of time, which for me, texting is 3 times a day. I do one set of text in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. And I really don't respond in between those times because I just don't have the bandwidth to do so. The same thing with phone calls. I do phone calls early in the morning, like return callbacks as well as emails. And then I shut my email down. I shut my email down for 4 hours and I focus on actually getting the work done that I need to get done. With recruiting, email is very much so involved. So you can turn off your alerts. Like it's a lot of different things that you could do. Okay, so she says, I do 4 hours recruiting and 2 hours sourcing on Monday. That's 4, 5, that's 6. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday for follow-up, Thursday for payroll, and then Friday for compliance. Where is your sales and business development and why is it not a priority? I love your schedule, but you said you do 4 hours recruiting and 2 hours of sourcing. So 4, 5, 6, what are you doing with the other 2 hours? Can you put sales and business development in there for 2 hours? And if it's something you're like not comfortable with or you're concerned, but start off with 30 minutes and then the next week do an hour. And then the next week do an hour and a half. And then the next week do 2 hours. So now you've got your full 2 hours up in your sales and business development. So you do have the ability to like work your way through it. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of get the momentum going, because it's something that you're not used to doing, and that's okay. You know, I don't want you to like beat yourself up about that, right? It's so okay to that. Yeah, you got to get your mind right sometimes, especially when you're tackling something that like you're not really familiar with, or that where your nerves are kind of jittery around that. You're like, okay, let me start off with 30 minutes. But listen, let me even ease you into this a little bit easier, okay? So when you do your first 30 minutes, make your first 30 minutes research around sales and business development. So it's not overwhelming at all. You just focus on the research on sales and business development first. Then your next week, you do research for 30 minutes, and then you do whatever your strategy is. So you've got to really start thinking about, like, don't just go in and just call random people. You want to have a strategy. You know what I'm saying? So do some research and create some strategies around, sales and business development. And don't look at it as sales, right? Look at it as you solving their problems. If you shift your mindset around that thought concept, like sales and business development is not so hard, because your whole main goal, all the energy you have on the inside of your heart, all the energy you have in your mind, your thoughts, everything is solely around servicing this client and figuring out the best way to be able to help them. And so it doesn't become a sale. When I'm on my calls, I'm typically asking more questions than anything. Like, how do you guys do your hiring now? Do you use agencies? Why not? Okay, did you have a bad experience with an agency? What happened? Okay, if you had an opportunity to have a better experience, what would that look like for you? Or what does an ideal experience look like for you? So like, start asking questions. Another thing I would say that would make it a lot easier for you to kind of dive into sales and business development is just doing market research calls. So, market research calls are calls that are not about sales and not about getting them to be a client or even scheduling a meeting per se. It really is more about like connecting and just learning more about their process, right? And the things the challenges that they're experiencing around hiring your specific niche market, and then analyzing data. And then you can take that and turn it into something really amazing, like a report, like even an annual report, which will also help with giving you branding, and it helps you to create relationships that are less stressful, than actually, like going through the whole salesy, quote unquote salesy process. Okay, she said, example, I have a colleague that sends me a quarterly list of administrators for the entire state of Ohio. So now I need to figure out how to use it. Okay. Hola, Tiffany, you are making this call so interesting tonight. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about this list. So first of all, I just gave you a really good example about like the administrators, right? I said the administrators, about the market research. So that's an approach you can take. But another approach you could take is maybe like some type of invite them to some type of online seminar or like teleseries, and ask them to be like special guests. Maybe not all of them, but if you have a whole list of these administrators in the state of Ohio, they are all peers. And many of them already know each other, and some don't know the other ones. So how about we get them all together in one location online for a summit and feature like maybe some of the people, some of the administrators on the list that are what we call influencers, right? Go and do research. This is going back to research. So go back and do research and see if anybody has a large following on LinkedIn or a large following on Instagram or Facebook, or I don't know, or on YouTube. See who are popular. Did anybody write a book? Does anybody have a podcast? So you want to get people who are really popular as possible. Anybody who's won like a whole bunch of accolades or whatever. And then you get them to be your special guests, because then everybody already knows who they are and they'll be eager to hear them. But your agency is hosting this, right? And so now you're establishing relationships with the hiring managers that will be your guests. You're inviting all of these people so they're starting to get to know your brand and to see your company as someone who is creating some serious value. Not only that, you could, the event is sponsored by you. So that gives you the ability to give away things. You can have a drawing, draw people in. You can have an intermission in the middle of it and talk about like you can do so much stuff. Like you can get real creative with that. This is kind of what I wanted my group coaching program to kind of like think about strategies like this, right? But this will really help you because right now it's in the state of Ohio, right? But once the word gets out around something like that, it could become something that's not just in the state of Ohio, but it can be in other states. And then ultimately it could be like a whole industry thing. Like it could really get like crazy, right? Crazy big. The stronger your brand is within that space, the more people will trust you. So you've got to build a brand of trust. And a great way to do that is by disseminating information, right? So that's something that I would think about doing if you have a whole list, right? Versus just reaching out to them individually. If you did want to reach out to them individually, you could definitely, I would either do the market research route or the telesummit route, right? Or the teleseries route and use that as a starting point. Of course, you can make cold calls and call in and get to know them. But I think that there are other ways that you can really tap into your market and get to know your market, and to kind of do a dual process where you're getting to know your market, you're providing value, you're doing sales and business development, and you're enhancing your brand all at one time versus doing just one thing. And cold calling, I feel like it's just one thing. And people are going to forget you 7 seconds after until you call back them for the next rotation. But when you're doing something like a telesummit hosted by your company or hosted by you, that's totally different. It's like, oh, who is this lady? Oh, what is this company? What are they doing? And it gives you the ability to really generate a brand of trust. Yes, like Tiffany, you are sitting on a gold mine. You're sitting on a gold mine right now. So what are you going to do with this? You have to turn this gold mine into a shower of gold. Like you don't want to just have a gold mine that you can't get into. You got to dig the gold out. So you've got the gold mine. Now the question is how you going to get it out of the gold mine and into your bank account, right? And so that is the big thing. We got to get it out of the gold mine into your bank account. And you do that by creating strategies and reaching out. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, that's how I started this call off, right? Talking about strategy and like really not just going out there and doing something just to be doing it, but really going out there and doing something because it makes sense and it actually is going to end up in a ROI, return on your investment, and being smart about it, right? Like not just doing one thing that'll yield one result, but being able to do one thing that'll yield 50 different results, 50 being the long stretch, but you know what I'm saying. So I hope that was helpful for you and anybody else that's watching and whoever's watching the replay. I hope that was super duper helpful for you all. Any questions? Any other questions? Tiffany? Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments? I'm like sitting in the car. Okay, Abrisha. Hey, Dee, Bree, and Jordan watching. We have 5 nurses looking to take an assignment soon, and I know we're in the beginning of group coaching, so do we hold off and let them use a different company, or do we take this head on? Well, the reality is that because you have nurses that are ready to be placed, well, no, I don't want to say it that way. But let me ask you a different question. Bree and Jordan, if you have 5 nurses that are ready to be placed, what would be your first, and you were ready to take on this right now, regardless of where we are in the program, what would be the first thing you would do? That's the question. And I don't have a problem with it, but I want to know what would be the first thing you would do. So you have 5 nurses looking to take an assignment soon. What would be the first thing you would do? And I ask this question because whether you have clients now or later, when those whenever you get nurses on billing, at some point their assignment is almost gonna be done, and you're still gonna have to go in and find them other assignments if you want to continue to have those numbers on your payroll. So if you are not completely set up the way you want to be, however, you're ready to jump out on a limb and to make moves in your company, and this is no judgment, this is a judgment-free zone, right? What would be the first thing you would do? How would you go about getting them placed? And I want to hear your thought process, because if you're asking, then in my mind, you must have a strategy or a thought process in the way that you want to go about this. And I want to make sure that I want to hear what you have to say. Now, I'm going to go back to something I said like 2 seconds ago, and Tiffany was agreeing with me. I'm going to tell you guys the worst feeling while Bree and Jordan are answering this. I'm going to tell you the worst feeling is having 50 people on billing, and then they all come off a contract at the same time, and then you got 5 people on billing, right? And then you just you were making like $50,000, $100,000 a week, and now you're making $5,000 a week. I'm telling you, you're going to cry in a way you ain't never cried before. So we have something that I can't even think of the name of the tool. That's crazy. But we have something, the 90-day radar. We have something called the 90-day radar. And the 90-day radar is all about looking at who's coming off of contract in the next 90 days. Now, for nurses typically work 13 weeks to 24 weeks, right? And like Tiffany said, I learned the hard way. So, yours is not necessarily a 90-day radar. Yours is either a 13 or a 24-week radar. So while these people are on billing, you cannot go 13 weeks. Okay. So you can't get comfortable. Like, you can get excited the first 2 weeks. You're like, yes, you know what I'm saying? You like fired up. But then it's like, holy crap. These people about to come off a contract. It may not renew. I got to get these people back on billing. I'm going to lose my funds. And trust and believe, when they come off, if you do not have a replacement, I'm telling you right now, this is a true story. There was a guy that actually committed suicide when them numbers dropped. Like, it's serious business. It's serious business, okay? So like Tiffany said, come in D, that's it. I learned the hard way, only took one time. I learned the hard way, it only took one time for me too. I was like, I will never do that. I was like on my hustle and grind to make sure I could keep my numbers up at a minimum, with minimum numbers. I'm currently on a 13-week assignment. Oh, okay, yep, I'm currently on a 13-week assignment. Okay, so 6 weeks. Okay, so like Tiffany said, I do 6 weeks and I start looking at next contracts. I talk to them weekly. So like Tiffany celebrates for 6 weeks, or she takes a breather for 6 weeks at least, and then she goes in and she starts working 6 weeks out because the contracts are 13 weeks, right? So if you have 13 weeks, so 6, 12. So you've got to come up with a system for that, right? So Bree and Jordan. So I want you to think about like what's going to be that plan of action. And while we're in this space, let me just say, since you are one of my group coaching clients, this should be in one of your strategies. This should definitely be in a strategy that you have. Like, okay, once the contract is up, then what? It is the sales and business development cycle all over again. Now, what I will tell you, I want to wait. I don't want to give the answer away just yet. I really want to give everybody an opportunity to respond with that feedback. And this doesn't just have to be Bree and Jordan. For everyone that's working contract staffing or temporary staffing, this applies, right? For everyone, this applies. Like, once they get on contract, they're only going to be on contract for a certain period of time. How do you ensure that they stay on billing forever, for as long as possible? How do you get them on the next contract when that contract's end? Now, if some companies, they have funds. And because they have funds, they can put people on the bench and have them work in their company until they get them on the next contract. That's really expensive. So if you're not coming into the business with like a loan or with like some major funds in your pocket, that's probably not going to be doable. So that means that you got to have this like space where you're constantly in a sales and business development mode. Where you're constantly looking for opportunities to put that nurse back on the next contract, but not just put that nurse on the next contract, but increase your count in the process. So it's about keeping all the people that you have on billing, and then increasing that number every week. That's how it took TRC's lowest performing office from 24 people on billing in March to, I think we did 44 consistently by July, which is they were trying to get by the end of the year, right? So we increased that billing, and they went from 3 to 7 million very quickly, very, very, very quickly. Okay. And just by having those people on billing consistent and increasing their rate. And that's where they were really at 10 million before they had went down. And then they just forgot. They forgot all the things that they did to grow their business. And I went up there and fired them butts up. No. We're going to do this the right way and help grow their business. So your sales and business development never ends. You never stop giving value. You never stop building your brand. You never stop having conversations. You never stop meeting at networking events. You never stop asking for referrals. You never stop asking questions. This is why I tell people to get into a niche that you love. Get into a niche that you absolutely love. That's what I tell people, because you're going to be in that space, going to the conventions, creating initiatives that support that industry. Those are the types of strategies that I really want you guys to really be creating initiatives that support your specific industry, right? Because now you are saying, this is who I'm supporting. This is my home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here whether you want me to be or not. Let's make this thing. Let's create some real partnerships, right? So that's kind of where I'm in. Hey, Sean, how are you? Sean, this thing says bring them on camera. If I press this button, is this going to bring you on camera? I'm going to press it. Don't curse at me, Sean. Their friends won't be able to watch this live video unless they're in your selected audience. So only I get to see it. Sean, don't cuss me out. I'm going to press this button. Just adding. I don't know if anybody has ever used this. Sean, are you still watching? She's probably like, D. Williams. I hope she don't beat me up for this. She didn't answer, though, so maybe she's like, I ain't answering that thing. Let me just see. I'm going to see what happens if I add Chris. I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to just go. I'm bringing everybody on. See what happens. I don't know who's on here. I don't know. Take a 4-day break. Okay. I'm adding people. I don't know what happens when I add people, but I just added a whole bunch of people to see what happens. Because if this is cool, because this is a new iPhone, but I don't know if Facebook does something different, but it's cool if you can add people, if everybody can be on video like on Zoom, Let me just see, what is this? Okay. All right, well, it didn't work. Nobody got on, so maybe it wasn't meant to be. All right. So Courtney says, would you recommend starting with direct hires versus contracts? I'm having the hardest time securing payroll funding back office for my niche. It wouldn't be as important for direct hires. Courtney, don't beat me up. What's your niche? I see millions of niches all day, so please don't beat me up. If you could remind me of your niches, is it healthcare? You still watching? Okay, I tried to add you, Sean. I don't know what I was adding, though. It just said add Sean the video, so I just thought I would try it. It said connection failed, though, so maybe it didn't work. But I did try to add you. I was just trying to see what this new feature they had there and if it was something that we could use in our group. So I'm waiting for Courtney to answer what her niche is. And then, because I'm the hardest time securing payroll funding back office for my niche. It's not, you don't need funding for direct hires at all, but what's your niche that's so challenging to get funding for? Our first thought was to find different VMS, MSP companies. Okay, keep going. What else you got under your belt? Because, like, um, not every VMS will become available um, to you immediately, right? Some VMS contracts, you have to have certain insurance requirements. Some you have to be in business for a certain period of time. Some they don't open. So that's one piece. The second piece is, and Tiffany will speak to this because she's the queen of VMS here in this group, in this community. But VMS is not easy to work. Like, you're competing against hundreds of other nurses. That doesn't necessarily mean that your nurse is going to get placed. So what other options do you have for keeping those people on billing? Okay, what other options? What else you got under your belt? We got to peel this thing back with layers. Let's peel this thing back with layers. What else you got in your mind, right? So you got to have a plan A, plan B, plan C. What happens if a VMS or MSP says no, and you do all your due diligence and you can't get anybody on you can't get on any VMS or MSP for the next 6 months? Then what? What else is left? So I'm stretching your mind. I can't wait to hear your response. Hey, Constance. Mwah. Congratulations. We gave you some love earlier. Okay, so Tiffany says, I take a break 4 weeks and let the nurses breathe lightly. Personally, my number 25 per month right now. Get it, Tiffany! Do it, girl! I'm so fired up for you. 25. I'm so fired up. Okay. However, I have my nurses and CNAs program to call me. They do this regularly, so I always have minimum 10 on billing, not a lot right now. Oh, I thought you said you had 25 on billing, but 10 is still great as well. That's still a lot. That's way more than one. Okay? That's way more than one. But it keeps everything flowing. My recruiters are new and pushing them first month. Both have done 3 contracts, and they're excited. That's amazing. This month's goal is to get 10 staff on billing. I started with 2 new male recruiters in May. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So that's awesomeness. And so you say you always have a minimum of 10 on billing. And so this month's goal is to get an additional 10. So your goal is 20 this month. If that's the case, keep stretching. I love that. You want to keep stretching, because the higher you set your goal, the further you have something to work towards, right? And like Tiffany, if you can, put a wager on the table for your recruiters. That'll push their tails and get them working harder than you ever imagine. Put a wager on the table. When I have a staff, the things that I do, I bring 10 movie tickets in. And I'll say, okay, we've got movie tickets here. First person to make the 3 submittals, you get a night out for the family. First person to get their next placement, you get make it exciting. Give them some momentum. Gas cards I give away, tons of gas cards. Amazon gift cards, iTunes, Audible. You got to get in there, girl, and motivate them. Okay. Oh no, tell me what happened. Okay, before you tell me what happened, before I read that, hey Kristen, I'm watching a breach. She said, keep stretching it, LOL. Keep stretching it, Pudding Pie. Keep stretching. Keep stretching. She's so cute. Okay, so Tiffany said, all of our nurses don't get placed. Listen to this horrible example that just happened to a nurse today. She'd been working a contract since February. She went in on a 1 week break, came back to no contract. Oh, wow. Fought to get her back on contract, and after 3 weeks, they just got her back to the same facility today. So, wow, that one break was a major, like a make or breaker for her. That's crazy. Yeah, it's you got to keep folks on billing in order to keep things moving for sure. What you been up to, Kristen? How's business going? Tiffany is killing it on this call today. Oh my gosh, she's Sean said, go Tiffany. She's rocking it out, right? Really excited. I am in Toronto, and I was late I was in traffic actually, so I'd always say I was late because I left right after my call earlier, but I was in traffic because it's raining and they're doing construction. So I'm sitting in front of the hotel. I wasn't able to log into the go-to meeting because I was driving, and I just got stuck here having a real conversation with everyone. It's Q&A day, you know? So we're doing what we do every Q&A day. We're diving into the genius of recruitment and staffing, right? So glad that you're here. Okay, so like Tiffany says, I have dinner and a movie valued at $100 for them. We have a rewards program through my employee, as well as they get a plaque. Okay, so you got this thing going on. I love that. That's awesomeness. All right, La Tiffany. So when am I coming to come work in the business for a day? I'm trying to get my $100. I'm trying to get my movie and my dinner. When can I come work in the office so I can get my movie and dinner? I have 15 people, myself, D, and pushing for my 9. Okay, as of 6/10, I will have 3 new start contracts. That's amazing. 15 people, myself, D, and pushing for my 9. I love that. I love that. Like Tiffany, you're a woman of my heart. It's so great to see you on your hustle and grind. I have watched you go from like just starting, like, you know, to now, like you're really moving in your business. And I feel like you really have a great momentum going in your business right now. And with the addition of this new private contract, I feel like that's going to be an overflow. I'm so excited. You don't even know how full my heart is. I'm so excited for your success. That's amazing. That is so amazing. So this week, so tomorrow, I think I told you guys I'm with a new client, and so she's just starting the new onboarding process. But Friday, I'm with a client I've been with for a while, and I had him on a VMS contract that he's been working for the last 3 months and doing his thing with that contract, and now he's ready to go out and get his own client. So a lot of things we talked about tonight, he and I will be discussing tomorrow, but we'll actually be making some cold calls because he is a salesy kind of guy. And he actually wants to get on the phone. He's like excited about that. So we're going to get on the phones. We're going to make some site visits on Friday as well, which I'm really excited about. And I'll be doing that here in Toronto, which I'm really excited about as well. And then I'll be back in Detroit for about 2 days. And then I'll be back home in Atlanta for about a week and a half. And then I'm back on the road again. So a really super crazy busy schedule. I'm really also excited. Did I tell you guys that I was recently interviewed for Black Enterprise Magazine? I did a photo shoot, like the video is all out. And so the article releases in July. So I'm really excited about that. And so I hope you guys get an opportunity to see the article. It's called The Audacity of Entrepreneurship. And it correlates with the workshop that we have roaming around the country right now. And so I'm really excited about that as well. And so if y'all see me anywhere in the country and you want to come in and chime in, for the audacity of entrepreneurship, I think you'll love it. It's like motivational / workshop. Y'all know I love to teach, but I also love to motivate, so it's like super awesome. And Black Enterprise got wind of it, and they were interested in learning more about me and what I'm doing with the Staffingpreneurs and what I'm doing with Individual Audacity. And so there was a really big opportunity. And now that that's done, there's another magazine that has reached out, and they're also interested, Rolling Up, I think they're called. They're also interested in interviewing me for an upcoming issue as well. So I'm really excited about that. So those are all very exciting things. And I do believe that this will also be great for us as well, because we're shedding light on the Staffingpreneur brand as well. So really, 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 really exciting stuff. I still have the stuff going on with ASA, with the American Staffing Association. I just got a lot going on over here. So when y'all see me not in the group, no, I'm like so crazy busy hustling and grinding, and I love you guys, and I don't want to be too far away from you, but just know that it's just like grind time over here like crazy. And then y'all know I just bought a business, and I just partnered with another business, so I've got a lot going. Like, it's really crazy right now, but it's such good stuff. This is the audacity of entrepreneurship. Being able to connect with people, build relationships, take your ideas out of your mind, actually bring them to life and execute them. You know I love this ish, right? You know I live for this ish. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much for all the love on the video. All right, guys. I love you guys. I've been sitting in the car. My hand is like, this. And if you want to keep the conversation going, definitely keep the conversation going under this post. Make sure you guys give a shout out to like Tiffany Jennings for all the work that she's doing. She's killing it over there. Any questions that you have, this is the group for it. Whether I'm live or not, you guys have the opportunity, and you guys have the opportunity. You guys have the opportunity to support each other. I say the same thing in my Slack group all the time. There's so much genius floating around in this community that all we got to do is just put our genius together and make some amazing things happen, right? Like Tiffany said, there's a OSHA Ohio ASA event in May. What is this in May? And something Bay. June 19th. So I'm going to this event. I need to connect with you. Yes, you do. You'll be in Atlanta in 3 weeks and really ready to. Oh my gosh! Now listen, girl. Do you know how much I'm traveling this summer? We've got to look, like Tiffany. I will text you either late tonight or sometime tomorrow, because I'll be in Houston, Dallas, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Denver, Vegas, LA, and then who else? Who knows where else after that? So, like, my schedule is so crazy. I think, honestly, at this point, like Tiffany, Lyric is about to be homeschooled. Like, because I just have so much traveling going on. I just don't see how I'm going to be able to do that and keep her in school at the same time. So this thing is going to be crazy. So I don't even know if I'm going to be in town in 3 weeks, but let's go through the schedule and let's see what we can make happen. And maybe I'll be in your city too. I love you so much. I love each and every one of you guys. You can keep the conversation going under this video. Let's have an amazing night. Q&A call was the bomb tonight. I just want to say that. I absolutely love it. Mwah! Bye, guys.